Hello and welcome everyone to this week's Cobra Career Talk. Today we are discussing a range of programs offered to current high school students as well as those who will be graduating this May. Our talk will be recorded. Upon entering the session, everyone will be muted. Presenters will talk about their specific programs and the floor will be open for faculty, students, guardians to ask their questions. Please keep in mind there's no such thing as a silly question, and that if you're thinking that question, someone is likely thinking the same thing too. So with that being said, please help me welcome our guest speakers today. That is Miss Amy Hall. She is the Director and Instructor of Office Programs, including Medical Office Administration and Paralegal Studies. And also Miss Jessica Raby, Director and Instructor of the Speech Language Pathology Program at CCC&TI. With that being said, I'm going to start sharing the screen. And our presenters can go from there.
Okay, looks like I'm up. My name is Amy Hall. I'm the Director of Office Programs, which is Office Administration, Medical Office Administration, and Paralegal Technology. And you can move the slide, Josie, please. First, we'll talk about Paralegal Technology. Paralegal Technology basic is working under the supervision of an attorney. That's what we train our students to do. You can work in a variety of places. You don't necessarily have to work for an attorney. You can work in governmental agencies, which is like the Register of Deeds office, the clerk of court. You could work for a prosecutor's office. You could work in private law firms. You could work in banks, insurance agencies. You could work at title insurance companies. So there's a wide open field for paralegal technology. But the basic is we do train people to work under the supervision of an attorney. Okay, next slide. Our medical office administration program is working in a medical field. But this is the way I differentiate between medical office administration and medical assisting, because we do have both programs here at Caldwell Community College. Medical assisting, you would think as you're assisting someone physically. So medical assisting, you will be touching the patient, whether that's doing a blood pressure, taking out stitches, taking their temperature. That's not our program. Our program is medical office administration, and it has office in the word. So office means you will be touching paper. You will be assisting the patients, but only with their paperwork. So we teach how to do medical billing, medical coding, how to check patients in, how to check patients out of the office, how to bill for insurance, and all the paperwork that goes behind the services that we offer for patients. So you can not only work in just a regular medical office setting like a family office or family practice office. You could work in a dental office. You could work in an eye doctor's office. You could work at the hospital in checking patients in to have procedures done. So you could also work in the hospital totally behind the scenes, just doing paperwork and never see any patients. So it just depends on what you're interested in as far as the medical field goes. Okay, next slide. And then my third program is office administration. So this is just working in a regular office. And I know a lot of people have that stigmatism, like, I don't want to go to two years of school to be a secretary. Well, we train you much more for running an office and being an office administrator, so that you are given tasks that you can complete on your own. You're not just given tasks minute by minute to do from some upper administrator. We have placed students in a variety of offices, whether it be Blue Ridge Electric. We've also placed people in medical offices just with an office degree. We place people like at the Chamber of Commerce, in construction business offices. So there's a variety of things you can do. In this program, we gear toward customer service and how to provide that customer service in the best possible way. Next slide. So you're asking, what skills would I need to go into any of these 3 office programs? Well, the first question is, are you organized? If you're a very organized person, you like to keep your own personal space organized, and you like to help other people be organized, this would be a great field. Any of these 3 would be a great field for you. If you have good time management skills, again, you're going to be given directions from someone else, such as an attorney or an office manager. And so they're going to give you a task, and they're going to expect you to do that task on your own without any further instructions. So do you have good time management skills that you can get those things done without procrastinating? Do you work well with the team? Any office setting, you have to work with other people, whether that be clients, customers, patients, other team members, and upper management. So you have to work well with others and like to be part of a team. Are you good at meeting deadlines? So do you wait till the last minute, or do you work ahead knowing that things could come up and that you could possibly have delays? So working ahead, being a self-motivated person, a go-getter, that's what we like to see in our office programs. We also like to see good written and oral communication skills. Again, it goes back to the team. You've got to be able to communicate with your fellow employees, and you've also got to be able to communicate with your customers. Can you successfully multitask? Everybody can multitask, but can you do it successfully? Can you be answering the phone for one patient, checking in another patient, and answering a doctor's question through email all at the same time, and being correct in all of your answers? That's important for our office skills. Okay, next slide. So your future, what your future would look like for any of these 3 degrees. We currently have jobs available. We have jobs that are available in Catawba County, which is the Hickory area, the Newton area. We have jobs available in Alexander County, which is Taylorsville area. We have jobs available in Burke County, which is Morganton area, and of course Caldwell County. Here locally, we've had recent jobs in Granite Falls as well as Lenoir. So the question always is, well, how much money can I make? Our graduates usually start out between $13 and $15 per hour and move up quickly if they're good at the skills that I mentioned. The other thing that's exciting about all 3 of our programs is we have partnerships with 4-year universities. So you can work, go to work once you get our 2-year degree, and then you can take courses online to complete your bachelor degree with one of these universities. There's opportunities for 4-year degrees in human services, criminal justice, leadership. So you can go to a variety of different areas. There's also a 4-year degree in office administration that we can hook you up with. So it's not just getting the 2-year degree, going to work, and being finished. If you're interested in following up, and like I said, working at the same time that you're completing an online bachelor's degree, that's certainly an opportunity for you. Let me back up and say that our paralegal program is approved through the North Carolina State Bar, so you can become a North Carolina certified paralegal. Once you have graduated with the 2-year degree, you're eligible to sit for that exam, and that will also get your foot in the door. But we have current jobs available. We have way more jobs than we're producing students. We need students to fill these jobs. We have employers calling weekly wanting students and graduates to fill these positions. So if it's a job where you want to go into work immediately, we can put you to work. Also, as a high school student, you can start taking our courses now. We have certificates that you can take those classes for the certificates. You can start working on your general education classes like the maths and the Englishes and the electives. So you can start now. You don't have to wait until you graduate high school. And you would just not need to talk to your advisor about how you would go about doing that. But it was nice meeting you, and if I can answer any questions about our programs, I would be happy to do so.
Thank you, Amy. Sorry about this. What's going on? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing our next presentation slide with Miss Jessica Raby, and we'll worry about this other issue later. Oh, there we go. Oops, a daisy. Jessica, might you be able to share your slides from your end?
I can.
Thank you.
All right, so is everyone able to see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so as Josie said, my name is Jessica Raby, and I am the director of the Speech Language Pathology Assistant Program here at Cobra Community College. So the requirements to become an SLP assistant in North Carolina, there are two pathways that you can follow. One is completing our AAS degree to become a speech language pathology assistant. There are two programs in the state of North Carolina, so our program as well as Fayetteville Tech, or someone that has a bachelor's degree in communication sciences and disorders sometimes come back into our program to take 7 additional courses that are required by the North Carolina Board of Examiners. Most SLP assistant jobs are in public school systems. So, those are your local public school systems, like you all are in Caldwell County schools currently. So that would be those public school systems. So Caldwell County, Burke County, Lincoln County, Alexander County, all of those counties that are surrounding us do hire SLP assistants. You also could find employment in private practice. So there are private speech and language therapy companies that are throughout the state that also employ SLP assistants, and then obviously private schools as well. So the question that I always like to start out is asking people if you like kids, kind of what Amy was alluding to with, do you like working with people or do you not like working with people? This is definitely a field that you do need to enjoy working with kids. As an SLP assistant, that is where the jobs are going to be. So you really do need to be able to enjoy working with kids if you are going to be an SLP assistant. So what classes are taken? So people often want to know, what is the course load like? What is the rigor of the courses? So here is a list of our new curriculum. We actually just went through a change of our curriculum this year and beginning in the fall. So these are the courses that you would need to take to as a part of our program. While you're in high school, you could be taking some of the general education classes. So like the Bio 163 that you see listed, the ACA, the Psych 150, those are classes that you can actually take prior to coming into the program. You could take those now. We have some students that don't take those ahead of time, and that's okay too. You would just have a full load once you did start the program. So you could take the general education classes now, or you could wait and take those as you're going through the program. The SLP classes that are listed there, you cannot take those classes yet. You have to be admitted into the program before you will be able to register for those SLP classes. Most of our SLP classes are a hybrid blend. So they're a combination of online coursework and seated coursework. Obviously, some of that was changed over the past year because of COVID, but we already are, have plans for the fall for things to kind of go back to normal. So in the fall, during that first fall semester, those SLP classes, we typically meet 1 day a week, and then the rest of the coursework is completed online. And here are the rest of the courses that you would have to take through, for the program. It is 2 years, 5 semesters. There are 2 classes over the summer. Those classes are online, so the SLP 120 and the SLP 150, both of those will be completely online in the summer. But it is a total of 72 credit hours. And this is just a funny slide I included because one of the classes that you have to take is phonetics. Phonetics is during your 2nd semester. It is one of our more difficult classes, but some people really enjoy it. But you learn how to write in transcription, and you learn the International Phonetic Alphabet. So what you see up at the top, although it doesn't look like it, is what it says down at the bottom. So yes, this will be useful to you later in life. That's what it says up at the top in transcription. And we do have a lot of fun along the way. I just included some pictures of our students from past. The first pictures where we did a dysphagia day. If you want to go on to become an SLP, which I'm going to talk about here in a moment, one of the things that you may do is you may work with adults, and you may work on modifying their diet so that they're able to swallow foods and liquids safely. So this is something that we do during one of our courses. The other picture is a field trip that we typically take to the Assistive Technology program in Morganton, and students check out devices and present on those assistive technology devices. And in the bottom picture, we do have a very active club on campus, and so we typically participate in fall festivals and spring flings and different things of that nature. We do have national news happening. Our national organization, which is referred to as ASHA, is currently and for the past year nationally certifying SLP assistants. So this is really great news for the field as a whole because it's going to assist with people being able to work between states. National certification is an optional thing. It's not something that is required for you to work in North Carolina, but it's definitely something that we encourage our students to pursue when they graduate. And Amy talked about this as well, desirable qualities. So specifically desirable qualities for SLP assistants. One of the most important, in my opinion, is professionalism. It's really important that we have good work ethic and that we are professional at all times in our workplace setting. Collaboration is also really important. There's a lot of teamwork involved in working as an SLP assistant. You're working under the supervision of a speech-language pathologist, so you have to be able to work well with others. You're also working, you may be working with teachers at schools. You're going to be working with parents. You're going to be working with, office administrative support, and so you do just need to be able to be a good team player and work well with others. Honest and integrity, emotional maturity, flexibility, communication skills, and I know Amy talked a little bit about this as well, so this is important in our field. Also, definitely you need to have good oral and written communication skills as a speech-language pathology assistant. The language part of that is that you are going to be working with children on their language skills, and sometimes that might just be teaching them vocabulary and trying to get them to talk and to increase their length of utterance. But sometimes it may be that you're working with them on grammar and, are they using correct subject-verb agreement? So you have to be able to model good subject-verb agreement and good oral and written communication skills in order to work on those things. Motor coordination skills, sensory observation, and modeling skills all are desirable qualities as an SLP assistant. What can a speech-language pathology assistant do? So, like I mentioned earlier, a speech-language pathology assistant works under the supervision of a licensed speech-language pathologist. They can assist a speech-language pathologist in screening for communication disorders, so that would be speech and language disorders, and they can provide speech and language therapy following a written treatment protocol, which I've included a picture of here on the slide. So this is what a sample protocol would look like. So where you see like 1 through 8, that's where the goals are going to be listed for that child, like what specific skills they need to work on. And then you have skilled interventions. So that's just a fancy name of, giving a name for what you're doing. So what therapy are you providing? And then what materials are you allowed to use? What types of cues and prompts do you give? What do you do if the child gets the response correct? What do you do if the child gets the response wrong? And so that form would be completed by your speech language pathologist, and then you would be providing the therapy following that protocol. And that's definitely what, in terms of your job description, which is the next slide, this is definitely one of the main things that you get to do. I always tell my students, as an assistant, you tend to get to do the fun things, because as a speech language pathologist myself, when I had an assistant, I'm typically was the one behind the computer screen doing all the fun paperwork and Medicaid billing, and my assistant was doing all the fun stuff because she was the one that was actually getting to work with the children. Possible responsibilities for an SLP assistant. So I've listed a bunch here. I'm not going to read them all, but again, the main one, providing direct intervention with students as designed by the SLP. That's definitely the big one, and the one that we just talked about. But like I said, again, you can complete a speech and language screening. You can complete hearing screenings. You can, find therapy materials. You might be making therapy materials. You're going to assist with communicating with parents and scheduling. You're going to be, possibly making homework and decorating bulletin boards in your speech room. There's just, a wide variety of things and skills that you could be doing as an SLP assistant. So another option, if you wanted to pursue your education and further your education, is you could continue on beyond the 2 years associate's degree. So you could complete the 2-year associate's degree and work as an SLP assistant, or we do have several students that continue on with their education. We have a 2+2 agreement with Appalachian State University that allows you to transfer after you completed your 2 years here at Caldwell Community College. You're able to transfer to Appalachian State University to complete your following 2 years of education. And once you've completed those 2 years at Appalachian State, then you would graduate with a bachelor's degree in communication sciences and disorders, which is the speech language pathology degree or field. What can you do with that? Well, you would want to go on and get your master's degree. So in order to be a speech language pathologist, you do have to go on and get your master's degree. And I've listed there are 7 bachelor's programs in North Carolina. Only Appalachian State is the only one that we currently have a 2+2 agreement with, but some of those other programs would accept our credits as well. And then there are 6 master's programs in North Carolina, and I've listed those there for you. I went to Appalachian State for my master's, so I'm a little biased when it comes to that. But there are a lot of great programs throughout the state, and obviously there are some out-of-state and online options as well. East Carolina has a completely online master's degree for speech language pathology. So why would you want to go on to become an SLP? There's a variety of reasons. One, it expands your work settings. So where I said before, do you like kids? You need to like kids to be able to work as an SLP assistant. If you do go on to get your master's degree in speech language pathology, then it actually expands your work settings, and that then you can work with the geriatric population. So there are some students that know that they want to do that, and they want to go that route. They want to work in a hospital, they want to work in a rehab or a skilled nursing facility. And so for those people, I would encourage them to go on. If you work with adults, you get to work with other things just other than straight speech and language skills. You might work with someone that's been in a car accident, that has a traumatic brain injury and has a language impairment because of that. You may work with, you know, someone that's had a stroke, and because of their stroke, they have what's called aphasia, which is an impairment of their language skills. Or they may have dysphagia, which is difficulty safely swallowing foods and liquids. And so you work with them on being able to safely do that and modifying their diet. So those are things that you can do if you go on to get your master's in speech language pathology. Sometimes people don't choose to do that. For myself, I still didn't go that route. I still wanted to work in a school. I still wanted to work with kids, and I just would work part-time in skilled nursing for some extra money. So there's just a lot more options if you do decide to go on and get your 4-year degree and then your master's degree as well. One thing that I didn't include on the slides is money. So like Amy said, everyone wants to know how much you're going to make. So as an SLP assistant, if you work in the public school system, realizing that you're going to be working 10 months instead of 12, starting salary for an SLP assistant in schools is around $26,000 a year. And that goes up to about $44,000 a year because there's a sliding scale for that. If you're working in private practice, you're typically working 12 months, and so starting salary for that is going to be closer to about $36,000 a year, and again going up to about $45,000 a year. Obviously, some of that depends on where you live, what part of the state that you live in. Those are kind of some rough numbers in terms of salary as an SLP assistant. If you go on to get your master's degree, starting salary for an SLP in the school system is around $44,000 a year, and that's with 0 experience, and again, just working 10 months out of the year. So again, that number drastically goes up if you're working in a hospital, you know, and working 12 months out of the year. Then, you know, your starting salary is probably going to be closer to about $65,000. So definitely some good options in terms of pay and just a variety of work settings. And then I've just included some links for different information. The first link is our North Carolina Board of Examiners. That's our licensing board in North Carolina. The second one is a link to our curriculum for the college, and also where you can go to sign up for an information session if you'd like to find out more information. And the last link is an ASHA link, which is our national organization and the Assistant Certification Program. And that is all I have.
Thank you so much, Jessica, and thank you, Amy. Something that I would just like to reiterate for our students who will be watching this video is the opportunities you have while you're in high school as juniors and seniors, as well as summer semesters. You have general psychology on there that will apply to these programs, ACA 122. Developmental psychology, that's psychology 241. You have English 111, the English 112, medical terminology 1 and 2. These are classes you may take as career and college promise students in high school, tuition free. My thinking is get it done. Get some of it out of the way while you can, tuition free. You know, even if you are a senior and you're graduating this May and you may have missed the boat for CCP in terms of spring this year, you still have summer 2021 semester. You can make an attempt to try medical terminology 1 or psychology, or English 111 is a fun one to try in the summer. These are your options. Please be aware that there is more money out there to help you pay for these programs than you realize. The big thing is you won't get that money unless you apply for that money. So know that it's out there. Apply for FAFSA. That will open the door for you to apply for community-based scholarships from CCC&TI, as well as other community scholarships that our local businesses have for students, especially West Caldwell students. There's a lot out there. So In terms of applying for CCP or finding more about FAFSA, doing your RGN, your senior year, or any of that, applying for scholarships, anything of that matter, you have a college advisor at the high school to help you. Your transition advisor, it's Josie Varela at West Caldwell High School. That's me. You have Sherry and Mitzi at South and High Brighton, and they're there to help you. So keep that in mind. We're just here to support you with your goals. For the staff members who are on this phone call, do you have any questions or suggestions, comments that we can add to this conversation?
Hey Josie, it's Keegan.
Hey, Keegan.
Hey, if for students that are listening, I would just encourage you to reach out to either one of these individuals. They're both wonderful people, and they're great at knowing their stuff. And so, if you have any questions, please just reach out and ask.
Wonderful, thank you. And I'll share out a mass email of the presentations, the video, and the contact information as well. Well, everyone, with that said, I want to wish everyone a happy St. Patty's Day. I am kind of wearing green, so don't get pinched. Very important. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I'm going to stop the recording.